Hi. A lot of times people say, well, what is a performance kitchen, or where'd the name come from, or what's it all about? And the funny thing is, when I was formulating the business, it was Brian Forman, cabinet maker, and everybody wanted to talk to Brian. So I wanted to keep the name Forman in the company because the corporate name was B. Forman Company Incorporated, but I wanted to change it. So back in the day, we changed it to performance. So the Forman, Forman, is in the middle of performance, kept the name in, and we developed this really cool concept. And that is that a kitchen must perform as good as it looks. And yes, it has to be beautiful. And there's so much more though, because how many things do you purchase where your design needs to be timeless so that you're not spending good money just a few years later and having to do it again? It's not really an act of decorating. It's something that will add value to your life while you're using it and still offer you value when the time comes, it's time to sell it. And more importantly, how can you build adjustability into that design so that when, I notice I didn't say if, when your appliances die in 6 or 7 years, that your casework, your cabinetry will still be able to accept the new appliance. I don't know if any designers or anyone in the ASID or the National Kitchen and Bath Association or any organization that emphasizes these things, what's typically standard in a performance kitchen. And that is what we call fudge factor, the ability to build this fudge into the job so that it looks built in and yet can still adapt to the future changes that might be made in the kitchen. That's just one of many issues. The logo, which I get into, is of course a diamond with a circle around it, and each one of the points in that diamond represent 4 elements of design. The architectural design, how does the kitchen itself relate to the space of the house? Where do you bring your groceries in? Where do your perishables go? The somewhat antiquated, old-fashioned concept of the work triangle being dictated between the sink, the range, and the refrigerator. It's really much more important that the landing spaces between them be appropriately spaced and appropriately distanced as opposed to where the actual appliance is. A kitchen that concentrates on the architectural design and then the cabinetry design lends itself much better to the third point in the triangle, which is where everybody wants to go, and that is the decorative items. You certainly don't want to pick a trendy style that screams, Gray Kitchen 1990 or Pickled Finish 1980 or White Shaker. You need to have something that is timeless and it holds up. The type of finish and the flexibility and repairability of the finish is critical. There's so many other elements of orchestrating the process of doing the kitchen that doesn't necessarily cost you more money to think these things. It's not really overthinking, it's thinking through the details so that you're never halfway through the project and go, oh my gosh, I love my new performance kitchen, but if I had it to do over again, you don't really want that. You want to have the benefit of the collaboration of multiple designers, not a salesperson or a sales designer, or worse yet, a home improvement contractor who has a designer working for them and says to you, well, what do you want? And what do you want to spend? And then they say, well, we can do the whole thing for that price. Then they give you a 2-page estimate on what they think you want, and then a long process of how that estimate is no longer relevant, usually after a hefty 30% deposit or so. And this model is what a performance kitchen is not. So you have a choice. You can tell someone what you think you want based on your life experiences, what you've read on the internet, and what you think would be great. Or you can trust being educated by a company with more experience doing this than anyone else, and to show you not only variations in the layout, but also in the different prices that you can spend. Many people do not even recognize that they need design. They think they're replacing their cabinets, or they're making a minor alteration. I promise everyone, and I've never been called on it, that we'll come up with at least one idea that no one else thought of. How can I make such a promise? It sounds so pompous and blatant. But the reason I can do that is because the collaborative process that we go through and the tons of myself, I've done over 4,000 kitchens. I ran all the work of 4 crews for 15 years. I'm an apprentice cabinet maker. I have a very deep knowledge, and I run the collaboration meetings. And then my designers all have various levels of expertise. And you think, well, God, this has got to be expensive, all this expertise. No, it's less money to do it that way because you save time in your installation. You don't have a contractor marking up your cabinets additional time. You don't have your appliances being marked up. We're hired as consultants and advocates for you to make the experience, I won't say glamorous, but relatively effortless. Anyone who implies that a kitchen is not a daunting experience is not really looking into the details that make the kitchen great. And why would you ever not want to look into the details when you're investing so much money in something that you're going to have as an asset in the future? So it's a kind of a long answer, what is a performance kitchen, but a performance kitchen is your kitchen the right